Hello, Year 4. So this week we're going to be looking at addition and subtraction. Now we have done this before at the beginning of the year and we have hit it consistently throughout the year. But what we want to do is we just want to set ourselves up so we are really firm in our understanding of addition and subtraction looking to go into next year. So I'm going to go through the basic skills, going to give you some examples and then let you have a go. So starting with addition, 4 digits because we're in Year 4. The first thing we're going to look at is how we could show this and how we could model it using counters and how we can show it as a written form. So I'm going to show you the counters and then I'll show you how I would write it up as a written form as well. So the first thing, nice and straightforward, we're going to look at is we're going to look at how we model it as counters. And the first thing we have to do is we put our number into each of the columns. So the first thing we do is we get 2000s, we put that in the thousands column. We get our 800s, we put that into the hundreds column. We get our 910s, we put that into the tens column. We get our 7 ones, put that into ones column. We do the same for the second number. So our 3000s go into the thousands column, our 0 hundreds go into the hundreds column, and our 6 10s go to our tens column, and our 5 ones. And then all we do is we count up how many in each column. So if we're doing that in this case, we have got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There are 12 counters in total in that one column. So we could write 12 in here. The problem with that is that no column can ever have more than 1 digit in it. So we also know that 10 ones make 1 10. So what we do is we leave the leftovers, which is 2, and we make an additional counter in the tens column because that's the 10 that we got from our ones. Then we count up our ones column and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 ones. Once again, we're going to add an additional counter into our hundreds column because 16 we can't have, so the 10 tens goes into the hundreds, and we leave the 6 in our current column. Then we look at our hundreds column. Again, we count them up. We go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And finally, our last column, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the answer we have is 5,962. Okay, so if I show you that as the written column method and show how I would lay it out, and there's lots of different ways you can do this, but this way I just find means that we avoid lots of different problems. So in addition, we put our 2 numbers in, I leave a blank line here, and then my answer will go in this equals sign that goes in here. And this highlights where my answer is. I don't need to write anywhere else. Everyone knows I look in between those 2 lines. That's where my answer is. The first thing we do is we start in our lowest column, whatever the lowest column happens to be. In this case, it's our 1 column. We add the 2 numbers together. 7 plus 5 is 12. So the units of the answer goes in the answer here, and we carry, or we are exchanging the 10s into the next column, and that's a 1. So we put the 1 in there. And what you can see here is that then this 1, some people carry it at the top, some people carry it underneath, but it can get lost and cannot be seen. It also then looks little and doesn't have the same significance, but actually it has exactly the same significance as the other 2 numbers. So this way is the same size and also nice and easy, you can't miss it. So when we run down this, we do 9, 6, and 1. 9 and 1 is 10, plus 6 is 16. So we have the 10 from that we carry over into the next column, and the 6 left over. The same goes in the next column. 8, 0, and 1 is 9. We have no 10s carried over into the next column, and then we do 2 and 3 is 5. So our answer is 5,962. You've seen how I would do it. So here's 3 numbers. Using 2 numbers at a time, can you make 3 different calculations out of these numbers and work out the answers using our model? And then I'll show you the answers afterwards. Pause now and do that for me. So let's go through the answers for the 3 sums that you could have made with the numbers I've given you. And hopefully you've done all 3 of them. If you've done a few, that's fine. So we do 8 and 2 is 10. That's 1 10 carried over to the next column and nothing else. Then we have 5 and 5 is 10 plus 1 is 11. Again, carried over the 1 into the next column. 2 and 8 is 10 plus 1 is 11. Again, carried over. 4 and 5 is 9 plus 1 is 10. Then we have nothing else in this column but this 1. So that makes that 1. And this just highlights the fact that if we put it like this, it's very easy to see that we have something in that column that needs to go here, rather than it being a little number either here or up here that sometimes can get missed. Moving on, we got 5,258 plus 1,791. So we start again in our lowest column. 8 and 1 is 9. 5 and 9 is 14. And you can see that 14 there, or 110 changes to the next column. 2 and 7 is 9 plus 1 is 10. There's my 10. 5 and 1 is 6 plus 1 is 7. So our answer is 7,049. The last one we've got over here, we've got, starting again our last column, we've got 2 and 1 is 3. 5 and 9 is 14. 8 and 7 and 1. In my mind, the way I would do it is add the 1 to the 8 to make that 9. Then I know I can add 7 to 9 to make it into 16. And then I do 4 and 1 and 1, which is 6 as well. So it's 6,643. So now we can look at that knowledge and see how we can apply that in a problem-solving situation. So what we've got here is 2 questions, but in each case, some of the numbers have been covered up, and we need to work out what those missing numbers might be. Now, in order for this to work, we must still do it in the same way we would do our other questions. So we still have to work going upwards. So we work out from the lowest column, working our way up. So the first thing we do is we start in the ones column of this question. We do 3 plus something equals 8. So in this case, 3 plus something equals 8. Hopefully we should just be able to add on the 5. So what we're going to do in here is put our 5 in there. And that means that we are aware that should be right. Then we're moving on to our next column. We've got something plus 9 equals 3. Now there's nothing we can add on to 9 to make 3 because we're going down. So what we must be going up, actually it's not 3 that we're making, it's going to be 13. So what do I add on to 9 to make 13? Add on 4. Because I'm going up 1, I must also think that I've got to carry over 1 into the next column, because it needs to, because I've got the 3 here, the 1, the 10 needs to go into the next column. So here I've got it here. It's not using the method that we had, but this is because it's set up as one of their questions. But we can still see it's definitely in that column. Then we can add those up. We've got 1, a 6, and a 4. 1, 6, and 4 equals 11. So that must be a 1, and it would carry over 1. So we can check now whether or not we're correct, because finally we can finish off this last column with 1 plus 6 is 7, plus an additional 1 is 8, and there it is, 8. So we're right. Have a go with the other question. Pause now and try. Okay, so let's see what we can do. 3 plus something equals 2. Now again, we're going down, so it must be going above 10. 3 plus what equals 12. We know we're going to 12 because we're going above it. And it is 3 plus 9 equals 12. So that missing number must be 12. Then we've got 1 plus something plus 9 equals 5. Because 5 is lower than 9, it must actually be 15 that we're making. So I'm going to put that 1 up there. I know that's going to be carried over. Then my answer must be 15. So 1 plus 9 is 10. What do I have to add on to 10 to get to 15? The answer is 5. Then I've got 1 and 3 is 4. I'm going down to 1, which we can't do if we're adding, so we must go over again. So we're going to carry 1 into the next column. It's going to be 11. So 4 plus what equals 11? And it's 4 plus 7 equals 11. And then we do our final column. We've got 1 plus 7 is 8. We're trying to get to 9. So this must be a 1 as well. And there's our answer. Okay, so here's some questions for you to try. The first ones are nice and simple. The second one, you're going to have to work out each of the addition sums and then work out which of the two answers is greater than, less than, or the same. Have a go, post your answers on to Tapestry, and I'll see you in the next lesson.